Hey guys, it's Warren Cargill here. I'm an acupuncturist and clinic director at Acupuncture Atlanta. So today I want to talk to you about something I'm really excited about, and that's water. I have been looking at water now for, well, basically all my life, but I've been researching it now for a couple of years, and I just find water really fascinating, and it's just like all the things that it does within your body is just phenomenal. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and I want to show you a product that I use at my house, and that helps get this water into your body. Okay. So first, let me tell you about this little water product we have. Then I'll get into the why it's so important. So this is the Vitalizer Plus, and I'm going to turn it on for you in just a second. Here we go, and this is where it gets kind of cool. So just a second, you'll see this little vortex begin to form, and all these little bubbles in here, this oxygen, so it's oxygenating the water. Additionally, there's a little mineral cube in here that goes all the way around, so it's providing minerals into the water. And finally, the whole thing is being run by a motor, which is creating a magnetic field. And there's some little fine bed of crystals here, which makes ultraviolet radiation, which kind of mimics, it's the part of the sun's energy that is absorbed by water, ultraviolet. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off so we can keep talking here. So here's the story about water, and this is why I'm so excited about it. So like when I was originally looking at water, I said, well, really what I'll get is a carbon filter for my house, because the water isn't here in Atlanta. It does have some problems, like fluoride and chlorine and heavy metals and pesticides and on and on and on. It's probably much like the water that you drink, right? Anyway, it turns out like that carbon does, it does take some of this stuff out of the water, but it leaves a lot of stuff remaining in the water. So when I started researching it more, what I would need to do to get really, pure water, my next step was to get an osmosis, a reverse osmosis, which, took out organisms and bacteria, pesticides, heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride, all that stuff. The problem is in that process of reverse osmosis, it also takes out minerals. So I was kind of left with a water that, was pretty clean, but it didn't have any minerals in it. Minerals are really important as far as water is concerned in your body because they provide the ion exchange. And by that I mean that there's these membranes in your body called plasma membranes, electron transport systems, which transports by ionic exchange energy into the cells. And that's where water becomes really very fascinating, because water in your body is entirely different than water you're ingesting. And it gets structured in your body. It gets the molecules line up, the charges line up, and all of this is to facilitate the exchange through this plasma membrane energy transport system, right? So I know you may think, oh, I'm drinking water and I am, hydrating myself, but it is so much more than that. So if you're drinking water, like you're drinking tap water, maybe you're drinking water out of a carbon filter. The issue there is the water is really highly unstructured, and so the body has to go through a lot of efforting to get the water into a structured, smaller size. And that's one of the things that this machine will do. So it oxygenates the water. You can just imagine water outside in a natural state. It's receiving sunlight, that the ultraviolet radiation is being charged, and that charge is what facilitates the energy in your body, facilitates energy in all living things. Additionally, the minerals, as the water's passing over rocks and everything, is picking up minerals. So it's just a much more alive water that that this brings forth, that goes into your body. And so with that said, you just have to begin to give consideration to what you're drinking. It's really important. It provides a lot of energy to your body. So one more thing I want to bring up to you is about, I was mentioning about the ultraviolet radiation and everything and how that goes in your body. Well, what people don't realize here is, like, like if we're thinking about your knees, the two joints comes together like this. And right in between those two bones is like this little pad of water. This pad of water has an exclusion zone, it's an EZ zone, which is positively charged ions. And those ions has an ability, just like two poles of a magnet. When you put two poles of the same charge together, they push each other away. And that's what's happening in your knees, is that when you start putting pressure on the knees like that, you start putting pressure on it, one knee you're standing on, and that force repels. And so as we age, we get more dehydrated, the repelling force begins to get minimal. Okay, so I just want you to understand how that affects your body, because it's really important how it affects the joints, how it affects the mitochondria as far as the energy production, the utilization of oxygen, and the exchange of ions to produce energy. Let's see, what else I want to say here. So on a side note, just one other thing, I'll tell you, this was really exciting for me about water. As you know, so like it's August 2015 here, it's, still hot in Atlanta. Well, and in California, they're having a drought, right? And a lot of people are having to limit or restrict their water usage, and even as far as bathing and drinking. However, the Nestle's company isn't. And in fact, Nestle's is drawing down 1 million gallons a day of water in California. And they're doing this for drinking water, to bottle it, to sell it. It's very disheartening to hear things like that. And it's also disheartening to hear about how Nestle's going out buying up around the world water sites and then pumping down the aquifers. I mean, water is a fundamental right for people. Everyone should have access to free, clean water, right? That's one of the things we do here at Acupuncture Atlanta. We support a number of international sites that go about getting free water access, by wells or pumps or whatever, to nations that don't have that. That's really important to do. Okay, so that's my little spiel on water. So one thing I just want to say, that for this, if to make this available, we're going to offer a discount, 15% discount, and the discount code, if you decide to get one, is Vortex15. Remember that, because you'll see a place for a code. Okay. Hey guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to my little spiel. I hope water is important for you. I hope you're out there drinking it. And if you've got any questions, email, call in, or chat with us. Okay, thanks.